all through the Twitterverse and deep through Facebook. This past May, you could find hashtag YesAllWomen. Now the hashtag had popped up because women were angry. They were angry because Elliot Rodger, a 20-year-old angry white man, decided that he wasn't going to take it anymore. He was going to punish those women who wouldn't give him any. So he wrote himself a little manifesto that he uploaded online, and he made a little video that he posted on YouTube. And then he stabbed 3 men in his apartment complex, and he drove over to a sorority and he killed some women. He ran over some more people with his car, and then, well, he shot himself in the head. Now, that was awful enough, but it was the responses to his work that really got women angry. There were, of course, the men's rights advocates who said, "Right on, brother." Okay, they're just pretty awful. But then there were all these whiny men who put up hashtag not all men to talk about how they didn't do things like that, and plenty of men they knew weren't like that. And it's true, most men don't. But the problem is that enough men do that pretty much every woman could put up a hashtag YesAllWomen and tell a story of harassment and sexual violence. A few months before the killings, I hung out with a friend of mine. Now, he's about 12 years younger than I am, and I, long married, like to live vicariously through the tales of his dating life. He told me about this date he went on with this beautiful woman. This woman was incredibly beautiful. You sort of stopped in your tracks when you saw her. The whole time that they were hanging out in the bar, men stared at her. There was this one creepy guy who stared at her the whole time. And she finally had enough. She got angry. She got fed up. And she was hostile and nasty, and she told the man to go away. Now, my friend decided that while she was beautiful, he wasn't going to date her because she was too angry. I tried to suggest to him that maybe she had a reason for her anger, that if she was that beautiful, that she'd probably been dealing with harassment since she was really young, constantly, every day, and that maybe it was okay to be hostile in the face of creepy harassment. But he didn't quite get it. Now, this was a few months before the Isla Vista killings, but it was the same sort of moment where a man just couldn't understand why women could get so angry. I wish I could have told him the story of one of my most amazing and terrifying nights. Now, I remembered this story because I had an assignment for a storytelling class. That assignment was early on in the semester, and it asked us to do a 2-minute piece about one of the scariest moments in our lives. And I told this story that I wish I could have told my friend. So it was the mid-late 90s, and I was in my mid-late 20s, and I lived in San Francisco. One of my housemates was questioning her gender identity. Now, she eventually decided to become a he, but at the time of the story, she was still a she, so she's going to be a she. She wanted to go to a benefit for animals, and you got a discount if you came as either butch or femme. She was going to go as stone cold butch, which is incredibly masculine. Probably you could even say that she would pass as male. And she wanted me to be her wing woman. She wanted me to go with her, help her feel comfortable, and then leave so she could meet some ladies. So I left my boyfriend at home, and I put on my fake pearls, I put on my little black dress, I put on some red lipstick, I put on some high heels. I was high femme. We took a bus to South of Market, and the event was a drag king show. A drag king show is like a drag queen show, but you have women dressed as men playing out male personalities, men from history, male stereotypes, and various male tropes. it is one of my favorite forms of entertainment. I like drag king shows better than drag queen shows. Pretty much all the acts were amazing, but two stand out years later. One was a large, proud woman in a dark blue suit, and she sang, "Can't get enough of your love, baby." Barry White was in the house, and behind her was a lineup of high femme backup singers. But my favorite act were these two short, scrawny little ladies. They had on scraggly, long wigs, and they had on blue denim jackets and jeans with the knees ripped out, and they rocked the house out. "I'm just a poor boy, nobody loves me." Now, I left before my friend. She didn't need me anymore, and I was tired, so I went out. Now, South of Market is a warehouse and club district, and it's not easy to get to. We had walked and taken the bus. A year and a half before, I had sold my car, and I had made a deal with myself that if I ever felt sketchy, I would pony up the money and take a cab. So I hailed a cab. That was my mistake. After I gave him my address, the cabbie said, "So you're a prostitute, no? Would you like to make some money?" And the whole way home, he refused to believe me that I wasn't a prostitute. Not that I have anything against prostitutes, but I'm not a prostitute, and I didn't want to make any money, and I wanted him to just drop it and just drive me home. The whole way home, he kept asking me over and over again, because my no wasn't enough. I must want it. And when I got out of the cab, I paid him, and I tipped him. Years later, I'm floored by the fact that I tipped him. But I tipped him because I wanted him to go away. I didn't want there to be any excuse for him to linger. I wanted it to stop. Now, I was terrified because the Chronicle had done a report a couple days before about how prostitutes were being raped by cabbies. The whole way home, I was thinking, he will not let me go. I was thinking that because a couple days before, the body of a known prostitute was found dead in the trunk of a cabbie's car. This is just one story from my life. One story of a man who refused to hear no, of a man who believed that because I was dressed a certain way, I must be wanting to sell him sex. A man who refused to hear no. This is just one story from my life. I have many stories in my life. I wish I could have told my friend this story, because I think he might have had more sympathy for the woman he dated. He might have understood that, yes, it's true. #YesAllWomen.